I think this team could potentially be a special type of group because of the experience that we have from some of our veteran athletes, mixed in with some newer athletes that are very strong with lots of experience. And I think that combination could create a great team come the spring racing season.
What's different about the team this year is that we're all a little more close, we're a little more cohesive. Everything's been smooth, training-wise, power-wise, and all the girls are getting along really well.
Diversity on the team has been fantastic in terms of the backgrounds that they come from, the rowing and athletic experiences that they come from, the parts of the country and parts of the world that they come from. I think it's an interesting group of student athletes because they're curious and they're interested in each other and what each other's background is and what each background could bring to the team in the form of, helping us go a little bit faster.
The team is much more diverse, and that is great in my opinion. Everybody is bringing their own experience from different parts of the world, and that is fantastic because sometimes we get stuck in our own ideas, and a fresh perspective is always good.
To go fast in a rowing boat, you got to work pretty hard together, and you can't have one without the other. If you're working hard but you're not working with any of the other people in the boat, probably not going to go real fast. And if you're all great friends and like to be around each other but you're not willing to put in the hard work, you probably aren't going to go real fast.
Rowing is the ultimate team sport just because you have to be in sync with everyone on the boat. You have to be on the same page with everyone, starting from the stroke in the beginning of the boat. It goes all the way down through 8 girls, so that's a lot to pay attention to, a lot to focus on. And you have to have a team mind outside the boat and in the boat.
Say as a coxswain's job to promote unity and one motion and speed in the boat, you have to yourself be always one step ahead of what you think could go wrong or how they're performing that day.
It's very important to have an experienced coxswain like Grace, just because she knows all of you individually. Even though new girls come in every year, we have such a long season that she's able to get to know all the girls individually, and she can call them out during a race and call them out on their strengths, their weaknesses, and it makes you more motivated in the middle of a race to go faster and beat the other boat.
Grace's experience that's the big advantage. There's somebody on our team that has coxed at 3 national championship regattas. She's been down the course at the national championships 3 times, for heats, for reps, for finals. She's been down the course, all of the courses that we race on, for all of the races in between. Dad Vales can be a tricky course. So just those years of experience, those meters of racing strokes that she has under her belt it's a huge asset for us, no doubt about it.
Rowing courses that you've already been on is a big help. There's a race that we used to go to in the spring in Tennessee, and I've been on that course since I was a freshman in high school. So I know that course basically like the back of my hand, and I know where the water starts to come in together and it gets a little skinnier versus gets wider, or if there's a current in one spot versus another, and basically how many strokes it is to the finish line from a certain point. I've been able to measure it out over the couple of years. Pressure on a coxswain it's completely different than a rower. You're the eyes, the ears, and basically the mind of the boat. The rowers are, I would say, the brute strength. They're the ones that are moving the boat and going together, and they're muscle, and you're effectively the brains. And you're the one that sees everything in front and behind you because they can only see what's behind them. And you need to always be on your toes and always watching where you're going from left to right, scanning constantly, just like you're driving.
The coxswain and the stroke have to have good communication in the boat. That's the most important thing. The ideal situation is that everybody's on the same page all the time, every single stroke, every single race, every single practice, and we're certainly working towards that. But things happen in practice and things happen in races where you have to make instantaneous adjustments. And so having people like Grace and Christina that are able to communicate with each other during a race situation is a huge benefit.
I feel like the most important thing that I have to bring, I hope that I bring it, is more confidence throughout the race, because everybody's looking up to you, and nobody knows the stroke to like fail the race or stop in the middle of the race. Not that I'm gonna do that, but I think it's important to feel confident above all the anxiety and the different kinds of like fears everybody's feeling before a race. It's good that to have this one person who that is handling the race.
Christina is a fantastic athlete and also a fantastic student. She's just a great role model for everybody on the team. You know, fairly quietly spoken, so when she does, you know, say something, it's really meaningful and poignant and from the heart. But she's such a hard worker. I mean, we just admire her work ethic every single practice.
Working with Christina as my stroke it's very entertaining and fun. I love it.
The competition that we have to look for as we look ahead to achieving some of the goals that we've set for this season start with our conference. You know, over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, Nova has been consistently strong year after year. We know that they're going to be strong every year. We know that we have to race strongly with them. FIT, also very strong crew over the years. We've had some great races with them. So for us, it really starts within the conference, and we know that we have to race strongly in the Sunshine State Conference in order to sort of move on to thinking about the national scene.
There is pressure on us to do really well, but also the expectations are expectations I know we can all meet. They're not something that we would go walk out on a limb and do. I know we can all meet them, because I feel like this year, this group is very young in age compared to the years past, and they bring a lot more experience too. They have a wider understanding of what rowing is and how they can perform their best to what he is asking.
The team in 2010, they were just kind of a mix of, you know, our erg scores weren't even that great back then. And this year, what's nice is that we do have the erg scores. We have extremely fast people.
One of our team goals is to compete strongly at the conference championship. So that's one thing that we're looking towards. Going to the national championships is an important part of our season. That's really a big goal for us, and I've been very happy with our eights that have had the opportunity to race at the national championship the last 3 years. But one of our team goals is definitely to try to go to the national championships as a team. That's with the 8 and the 4. To race strongly throughout, try to improve through every race, but do that in 2 or 3 boats, especially the 8 and the 4 that could potentially qualify for nationals. And we would just really like the opportunity to have that 8 and 4 be able to compete at the national championships and see what happens.
This being my senior year, I think the most exciting thing that I have to look forward to currently is conference. I don't want to look too far ahead, even though I'm really hoping we get to nationals. It will definitely be great. Conference, I would have to say, is one of the most key things I'm looking forward to. Also, one of our big races is Dadville's, which is up in Philadelphia. It's always fun to go up there and see the northern schools and race them, which is great because it also helps us look at who could possibly be there for nationals. And then going to nationals, like always, I've gone every year. I want to go back again. I want to end my season on a high note.